you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first gentleman for the evening process, Mr. Jonas Mulik. Let's continue right now, Lorraine.
And for our second rose, we have another uncle of Colleen. We have Mr. Joven Del Rosario.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joven Del Rosario. Now let's move on with the next gentleman, classmate since nursery until grade 7 in IJLA and boy best friend. Let's welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Benjamin Nomura.
That my best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no nigga on the dance floor. She had 2-3 drinks, now she twerking. She throw it out and come back in. That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch, drive her own car. She don't need no lift in a strip club. No, my girl gon' tip, now she twerking.
Thank you very much, Benjamin Nomura. Our fourth rose belongs to Colleen's cousin on father's side, Mr. Lawrence Aquino.
Araw-araw magmamight. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie care. Come on baby, come with me. Gusto kitang makaday. Araw-araw magmamight. Check it out now. I-flex na ang reflex. Nakasa na multiplex. Andrew Ina.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence Aquino. Now let's move on with the next gentleman, co-member in USTJH Glee Club and friend, Mr. Gil Guillermo III. Moving on right now, let's welcome instead. He's actually here, so let's welcome once again Mr. Gil Guillermo III.
Thank you, Mr. Gil Guillermo. Next gentleman is Colleen's cousin on father's side, Mr. Justin Luis M. Del Rosario.
Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. Gorgeous, make 'em drop dead, you a killer. Shower you with all my attention. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Stay in the kitchen cooking.
Thank you
up
so
what
much.
you're doing.
Now let's move on with the next gentleman, co-member in USTJH Glee Club and boy best friend, Mr. Rayum Earl Gabutan.
Hey, yo, big wave. Tell them I come. Small time alongside JW.
My bestie and your bestie sit down by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, ane. Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together.
Yay, thank you, Rehum Gabutan. Another 18th rose is Mr. Cedric Abedania, Colleen's classmate in grade 8 to 9 in USTJHS and a friend.
Thank you, Cedric. And here now is the next gentleman, classmate in grade 9 in USDJH and friend, Mr. Pierre Henry Guevara.
언젠가 내게도 이런 일이 실제로 일어날까 그게 언제쯤일까 어떤 사람일까 I wanna know 너는 달콤하다는데 I wanna know 하늘에 나는 똑같다는데 I wanna know no 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 사랑이었다는 느낌인지 I wanna know 더 잃고 있다는데 I wanna know 세상이 아름답다는데 I wanna know no 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 언젠가 나에게도 사랑이 이룰 자는 상상만을 알아 달려만 봐도 가슴이 떠들고
Thank you, Mr. Guevara. Next gentleman is the EAMC head of the Materials Management Section, Mr. Peter Luego.
Moving on right now, thank you so much, Mr. Peter Luego. Now, here we go with the CSC DOH Field Officer Director, CSC DOH Director Noel Salumbides.
He will be represented by Mr. Clarence Baron, a businessman. Thank you very much, Sir Clarence. Next gentleman is a son of her mother's colleague, Mr. Athos Fajardo.
Thank you so much for that wonderful TikTok dance. Now, let's move on with the HR colleague of her mother, whom she's closest to, Mr. Hans Oliver de la Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Hans. Next gentleman is Colleen's schoolmate in Infant Jesus Learning Academy and her friend, Mr. Clark Martin Santos.
방송은 안 그러는데 맨날 모두 모아서 받아주고 싶은데 너 앞에서 자꾸 드러나는 아무리 마시고 성장하지만 나는 너에게 더 끝까지 떠올랐던 그 말을 내일 꼭 하겠어 너 예쁘다 감기에는 약 배고프면 밥
Thank you so much, Clark. Okay, there you go. Now, let's move on with the colleague of her mother. Let's welcome Mr. Gerald Abellanosa.
Thank you, Mr. Gerald. Our next rose is a classmate of Colleen since nursery until grade 7 in IJLA and also a boy best friend, Mr. Emmanuel Carlos Orozco.
Provide loving overlooked and unappreciated. You see, you can reciprocate. I got delicious taste. You need a woman's touch in your place. Just protect her and keep her safe. Baby, worship my hips and waist. So feminine with grace. I touch your soul when you hear me say, boy, let me be a woman. Let me be a woman. I can be a woman.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Now let's move on with our next gentleman, HR colleague of her mother, Mr. Rayan Joshua Buado.
Thank you, Mr. Rayan. The last dance is, of course, reserved to the very first love of the debutante, the most handsome and the most loving guy in her life. To dance with our debutante